All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of the SHITournament Season 3 featuring Panic Restaurant. Tonight we have JackimusWedge in all of his Newfoundland beauty and glory taking on the world. He's going to do a triple header versus TheAlanHeffley. Puke 7 and Random Effect in Group D. The runners have been given the signal and they will be underway. And we'll watch this wonderful game in all of its, 1982 glory, I believe it came out. Originally titled Piece of Garbage 2, it was renamed the Panic Restaurant upon arriving to the United States because the Japanese didn't think we'd understand the title. All right, and there they go. See if we can get some game audio for you. All right, that sounds just the right amount of game audio. So the first thing you see in this stage is you're a dude and you're hitting a bunch of things, but the question I have for you guys is, who remembers Mackie Sasser? The catcher from the New York Mets that had the yips and couldn't throw the ball back to the pitcher? I watched a documentary early on about his career and how he would, just randomly pump. He'd have to walk the ball to the catcher sometimes. Guys would steal base on him. It was crazy. He had some therapists. The Mets assigned over 50 therapists or specialists to take care of him. And not one of them actually took care of him for the benefit of his health. It was just in the act of throwing the baseball. It brings the question, Popcorn Pete fight here. Let's see how Jackimus does in this fight. Who remembers any other sports stars that were really synonymous for being so bad that you would make fun of them and imitate them and all that? Remember Mark Wohlers, the closer of the Atlanta Braves one time, was the best closer in baseball and then couldn't get anybody out. John Rocker. Remember how overhyped that guy was? Yeah, John Rocker. Remember when he got on a New York City subway and flipped out? I think he was on the 7 train or something, or 4 train on the way to Shea Stadium. Jack is going to play the slot machines. He's certainly doing this right. And he grabs the heart container to see if he bails out. No, he's going to see if he can get another one. I'm definitely of the strategy of trying to get that heart container with your first pull. Alan passes the minigame. Sexy Rexy is another good one. Doesn't he have a job? Isn't he like the backup in the Dolphins organization? Isn't he still floating around somewhere? Remember Brian Urlacher? What a disgrace that guy was. He was good one time and wasn't good any other time. And you have your obvious, your Ryan Leafs in the NFL, your Todd Marinoviches, Lawrence Phillips. Remember that guy? That guy was a head case. Oh, look at me on BGT. I'm going to add the number 6 at the end of everything I type because I don't have arrow keys and I live in California and have a dog. Mike Matisow is a good one. Who was that dude? Remember they did the Atlantic City Trump Poker Championships? The U.S. Poker Open or something like that. And there was D'Agostino or something. There was some kid who had a really good run. And I remember he lost a huge hand, and instead of shipping his chips over to the other guy, he just knocked over all the chips on the table and threw a fit. That guy sucked. Rich Contos in the NHL. Remember he set a crazy rookie record or goal-scoring record to start a season? That guy was a piece of garbage after that. Havad Khan. No, I don't think I remember him. See, I wouldn't consider... Well, Sergio Garcia just won a major event, didn't he? And Greg Norman I wouldn't consider on the level of these guys. Because he had a good career. Alan's going to make his way to the 3rd stage. It's just he was synonymous for those losses he had. The poker idiot, give it to me one time. I'm a big Antonio Esfandari fan. Not originally, but when him and Phil Locke used to get together on Poker After Dark and just needle Mattisau and Helmuth for the duration of the episodes. Jack's taking the fork. This is very Canadian of him. Let's see how he does here. Might have some new strats coming in the main event tonight. BGT versus Buzz Thunder. Nope, Jack gets hit, but just in time to grab the spoon. Jose Canseco, yeah, you know, I would consider his career kind of a bust. He had those good runs with the A's, but then you didn't think he really did anything on the Yankees. Speaking of TP Poker, hello, how are you? Everyone break out your Norman chat emotes for TP Poker. All right, Alan takes the death there. Didn't Lance Armstrong win like 12 Tour de France's while doping out and only having one testicle? Speaking of one testicle, Jackimus refills his, and he'll be moving on to stage 3. Couple more deaths on Alan's half, and he'll give up the lead. Stretch Armstrong is a good case for. We're talking about athletes who really hit hard times during their career. And Mackie Sasser was one of my favorites. Not favorites ball players, but certainly when I'm a kid playing wiffle ball and decide I'm going to clutch the ball 800 times, be like, hey, look, I'm Mackie Sasser. Jackimus has just set a record for most weapons picked up in a single SHI tournament race. He's picked up the spoon, the regular frying pan, the fork, and the plate. That's the Grand Slam of weapons. Congratulations to him for setting the record. Do you remember when Ricky Williams and Mike Ditka, when Ditka was part of the Saints organization, dressed up as husband and wife? I think JSR wants me to say the name Dennis Rodman. I'm not exactly sure. The 100% Panic Restaurant All Weapons tournament is in November, I believe. Jackimus is getting the early head start. But can we really call Dennis Rodman one of those guys, though? I mean, he definitely had his blow-ups, but he was certainly statistically a good player on the court. Remember when he kicked the cameraman in the groin that one time for no reason? So I have a story about Darryl Strawberry, if you guys want to hear it. So when I was a young, wee little angry Larry, still angry back then, by the way, my grandparents had a house in Vero Beach, Florida. Vero Beach, Florida was the home of the spring home of the Los Angeles Dodgers. Big thing in that town at the time. Like it was Dodger Town is basically the nickname of Vero Beach. And we're there one year, and it's the year that Darryl Strawberry became a Dodger. So the ballpark is very intimate. The players have to actually walk down the stadium steps to get onto the field for batting practice. And we're there early. You know, I'm a kid. I'm 11, 12, whatever it was. And I got my autograph book. Darryl Strawberry walks right next to me, signs the kid's autograph to my left, and then turns to me and says, "Hey, kid, I'll be right back." And goes and hangs out with his buddy Eric Davis on the Reds, because the Dodgers were playing the Reds, and I guess they were best friends or something. So I'm sitting there. Like, I never wanted to leave the ballpark, because Darryl Strawberry told me he would be right back, personally. And I took him for his word. He never came back. I was upset. And lo and behold, I held a grudge ever since. And in fact, that weekend, or the next week, he just went MIA on the Dodgers, and that was the end of his Dodgers career. So flash forward to about 6 years ago. We're in the Nassau Veterans Memorial Coliseum in Uniondale, Long Island, watching the New York Islanders play, I think it was the Buffalo Sabres. And I'm walking, and I'm with my nephew, his kid, and one of his friends, and we're just walking in the concourse. And all of a sudden I turn and I just scream, Daryl Strawberry, you piece of garbage. I remember Vero Beach. My nephew's like, yo, what's wrong with you? I'm like, I'm giving Daryl Strawberry to the business. He's like, dude, that's not Daryl Strawberry. Come on. Because I've done this before. I've seen, like, Men the Master, the poker player, picking out light bulbs in Walmart. So, you know, technically I'm the guy who sees celebrities where celebrities aren't. So we go back to the seats. We're sitting down, and all of a sudden the New York Islanders would like to welcome special guest Daryl Strawberry, and they put him on the big screen. I stand up, and I start cursing. And my nephew's with us. Like, my nephew's son is with us. And he's about 4 years old, or 5 years old. He's in his little Rick DiPietro jersey. He bought a replica helmet. He's wearing it, and I'm F you, Strawberry. I effing remember Vero Beach, you piece of garbage. And I'm giving him the he's on the Jumbotron. I'm giving him the business. And people around me are like, yo, bro, you all right? I'm like, yeah. The guy stood me up for an autograph. What do you expect me to do 30 years later? And that's the reason why I'm not allowed back in Nassau Coliseum ever again. I was happy when the Islanders moved to Barclays Center, though, because I could watch them play home games. But yeah, I definitely gave him the business. There was a story, speaking of hockey and Islanders, there was a story I owe Buzz Thunder about Pat LaFontaine. And this is a true story, by the way. So my brother was a postmaster in Montauk Beach in Long Island. No, they didn't kick me out. That part was fabricated. Jack's going to try to kill that cloud. That's a little bit more interesting than this story I'm telling, so we'll watch this for a little while. So my brother was a postmaster. Not postmaster, but, you know, a postal worker in Montauk Beach, New York, Long Island, you know, out by the Hamptons, celebrities and all that. So one day he's just sitting there, and he worked the window at the time. And, you know, someone gives him a package to send. He looks at the name on the package, you know, for the zip code and all that. And it's Pat LaFontaine. And my brother was a huge Islanders fan, still is. And LaFontaine was on the Sabres at that time. He got traded in that blockbuster deal where we got Benoit Nose and at the same time acquired Steve Thomas, number 32. So it was about 92, 93, 94. So he sees Pat LaFontaine. He says, oh, blah, 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 big fan, all this. And then Pat LaFontaine, you know, kind of took to him. And they hung out a few times. So my brother has home videos of Pat LaFontaine losing his fontaine on his boat in a bucket. And there was one time they were playing a prank on this guy, John, who owned a diner nearby called John's Drive-In. And they're all good friends. So they went to John's Drive-In with a fluorescent green bucket of paint, and they started painting the door. And Montauk's not that big as far as residents go, so, of course, the police show up. They know my brother. And they're like, all right, sir, and your name? And then Pat LaFontaine gives a fake name, and they almost got arrested. If the guy didn't know my brother, if these were any two other guys, they would have gotten arrested, but... yeah, my brother almost got arrested with Pat LaFontaine trying to paint somebody's diner door a fluorescent green. In a town where that's pretty much frowned upon because every restaurant and storefront has to be this generic white, historic color. Ric Flair, when you were 11, my dad went to pay a cable bill one time and came back and grabbed me, and we went back to the cable, the walk-in center. Because Tito Santana, El Matador, was signing autographs. So we stood online for like 90 minutes waiting for Tito Santana. You met Michael Jordan? Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, don't meet your heroes is kind of what they say, right? Alan takes a death here in the ice stage. He has one life left. And here's the problem. If he dies, he's going to go back to the start of this level with only 2 hearts, with no ways to get extra heart containers on this stage. This is one of the most unforgiving stages. Jack has 5 more lives, though. And that's cool. You're also in Long Island poker. Yeah, the BGT rule is if you game over in the ice level, might as well just start over because it'll be quicker. Maybe that was true for the first round of the tournament. But, you know, people going into the winner's bracket should not say things like that. They should probably own up to being good at the game. 4 presidents you met. I got a signed letter, personalized signed letter from Ronald Reagan somewhere, because my 4th grade teacher, it might have been 5th grade teacher, I had the same teacher both years. Did this Autobahn thing with like a bird sanctuary and made like a huge, biggest deal of it. And she would be the ones to send letters everywhere trying to get recognition and you know, have people recognize stuff and her contributions. And I did work on this bird sanctuary in the old abandoned playground. I had no choice. It was part of the class. But apparently I did something to be called out, and Ronald Reagan actually sent a letter to the school. Hand signed, but my name handwritten on it. So I guess it was a generic template letter where he just had to write a name and signature. And yeah, so... Trivia time. There are 4 U.S. presidents with the same first and last initial. Name them. I'll go with John Adams, John Quincy Adams, Abraham Lincoln. No, that didn't work. So maybe we'll go George Bush. BC. UG. Washington. Woodrow Wilson. No, George Washington Wilson. That's the tough one right there. That's a, would that be your preferred, if you were having dinner for 5, Poker, would you want Wilson, Reagan, Flair, and Hogan at your table? Bad spot for Jack to get hit there. It just sends you right into the spikes. It's instant death. Yeah, that actually sounds convincing there, 7-8. I love trivia, so this is not something I want to look up. Oh, Jack's burning through all of his lives right there. Jack may be the one that takes the game over on this stage. Hey, Jojo, how you doing? Wow, that's tough, because I always want to go to the people who are related. And I can't seem to grab anybody else who has the same initials as those people. All right, I have to read your question again. The first and last name start with the same letter. Oh, okay. Oh, and he was right. He just changed letters. All right. My bad. I'm trying to watch the race, and I don't know if you guys noticed this. I'm trying to concentrate on this race and answer the same question at the same time. I don't have time to hear you correct me 50 times, BGT. Trying to level the playing field here. But question for everyone else. If you had dinner for 5 and had to invite 4 people over, past, present, dead, or alive, who would they be? BGC, did we get the right answer somewhere? Because this chat's lit and I haven't been able to pay attention to it. Alan, game overs. '99, Christina Aguilera. '93. Okay, so you got the 2 of the 3 founding members of the Pussycat Dolls. Jackimus is going to game over here. Nelly. I was singing Nelly earlier for some reason. Not Hot in Here, but Country Grammar. And E-I, uh-oh, that song. For some reason. I don't know why. I was representing the St. Louis. So first initial, last initial would be the same. So like Woodrow Wilson would be one. Herbert Hoover, yeah. Prez Polk is another one. Hulk Hogan is the fourth. Yeah, so we got them all. 78 Times says, this game looks so fun and I want to play it, but Kappa got cut off. Puke7, I will let you play this game after these guys are done if you want. I'll even show it. Chat, can I get your best Randy Savage impressions, please? What if Saturn brought the mop? And Canyon's dead, he killed himself. But I remember one time I had to help him over a guardrail for some reason at a local NYWC show. And then he spent 35 minutes in the bathroom preparing himself to go to the bar afterwards. All right, JSO, you have a choice. Perry Saturn, lunch with Perry Saturn, with a lazy eye, or no lazy eye, but with a mop that he dresses up in a dress. Calvin Coolidge is the third of the answers. Wilson, Coolidge, Hoover, and Ulysses S. Grant. Oh, by the way, JSR, people, chat went lit when you did Mike Tyson. And I had to tell people, I had to convince people that it wasn't premeditated. I just said it off the top of my head, and you actually rolled with it. And my question was Perry Saturn with the lazy eye, or no lazy eye, but with a mop. You had to choose one to take to lunch. Like Applebee's lunch, where it's lit, you know, bright atmosphere, people around. Alan game overs again. Fortunate for Alan, Jackimus doesn't look like he's ever played this game in his life. He does have splits, but he doesn't have the last split down. He only has, or maybe these splits are his splits from today. Well, I mean, it's give and give, or take and take, JSR. It's because we're in Applebee's. Forrest Whitaker is probably an answer to the question. Remember when Applebee's had the jalapeno poppers, the red jalapenos with the stuffed cream cheese and the jam dip, and then they got rid of it and I stopped going? There you go, Ronald Reagan. Ronald Reagan, I don't know how I didn't get that one. I did say it before, like 4 times. He wrote me a letter one time. Sexy ice cream time. Her name is Strawberry Saint. No relation. Jackimus just gets scooped there. Takes a cone right into the heart. Has to start over again. Four elements and only one symbol, huh? I don't think salt's an element. I'm not sure about that. All right, Jack gets the fork out of the way. Rocky Road, here we go, puns. Puns is starting. JSR is on fire right now. Zinc. Gold. You know how I learned the element for gold? I was watching Facts of Life one time, and Tootie was like, this is how I learned it. Hey, you, give me back my gold watch. So I know now the symbol for gold is AU because of that episode of Facts of Life. This is a ROM hack. It's 25% more garbage than the original. I've noticed that every question asked so far in chat has been given 2 legitimate answers and 2 garbage answers. And I'm okay with that. I earn. I run. I guess iron is 1, right? Iron. Iron seems like 2. Yeah, iron is definitely 2. I don't know where to stop it, though. Magnesium. I made that work. We are 35 minutes away from declaring this one on time limit. Lead sounds good to me. Because my brain's always going to neon right now. All right, Jack was on his last life. It looks like he's going to make it back to Sexy Ice Cream if he can get past this Freon unit. It's probably one with about 6 letters. That's all silent letters, like some dude's name in the bottom of the chart. All right, Jack is going to have to start over again, but Alan is at the boss here. How many lives does he have left, and how much health does he have? It's his last life, 2 hearts. And he pause buffers there. And Buzz Thunder strategies, all of a sudden he beats the game. No, he came back. All right. And there you go. Alan has finished the game. 26 minutes. It's the setting a record here. The highest time by a winner in the tournament so far, TheAlanHeffley, 26:58. Jack's going to get in a little bit of practice here. See if you can make it through this board. You can't win a race if you can't get through this level. So I don't know who's coming in now. I don't know if it's... I guess I got to get in the Discord channel. I don't know if it's going to be Puke 7 or if it's going to be Random Effect. But we'll see. That's the part of the randomizer part of this tournament is who knows what's going to happen. There's 2 more races, 7-8 time. Jackimus is playing Random Effect. Jackimus is also playing Puke 7. I actually practiced the ice level bent glass tube with 2 hearts. And my problem is more, it's definitely doable with a lot of patience. But just like anything else in this game, you have to take a little bit, you have to put a little bit of practice into it. Not much to get through it. But like right here, you have to just know when to start, when to stop, kind of thing. All right, Jojo, you all right? You feeling all right? All right, Jackimus here is done. We're going to have another race coming up. I don't know who's hopping in. Or do I? Puke if you're here, Random if you're here. I don't know the order of these things. You guys have to let me know so I can set it up, please. All right, sounds good to me. Sounds good to me. Just join the IRC and let me know when you're live. So what topic should we talk about during this race coming up? Jack's not going to join us because Jack's going to play all 3 of his games first. TheAlanHeffley doesn't really know how to work computers or video games or controllers for that matter, so he probably won't be joining us.